Hey guys, Mike Lawson here. So you just started your network marketing business, or you're thinking about it, or you just started on your journey being an entrepreneur, and some of your family isn't on board. Specifically, maybe your spouse, maybe a girlfriend, maybe a boyfriend, or maybe just your family. Maybe your family's not on board. Maybe you're the only one in your family that is, maybe you're like me, the black sheep of the family, and you're doing something different. And anytime that we do something different, we're going to be met with resistance. And remember, the bigger your dreams and the bigger your goals, the more resistance that you're going to face. Hey, Michelle. So, I went through this in the early days of my business. I thought that everyone was going to be excited for me to be an entrepreneur, to start my business. I thought that everyone was going to be behind me and supportive and understand why I was doing it. Yes, I wanted to make a lot of money, but when I started, I always had dreams of being an entrepreneur. And some of you guys know my first story where I lost my life savings with an ice cream business, and then I got involved in the industry of network marketing. But even before then, even when I was getting ready to start to go out on my own and start that ice cream business, I thought everybody was going to be supportive. My son was just born, but some people were on board, but the people that mattered the most weren't on board. Specifically, my son's mother at the time said she was on board, but really wasn't on board. And it wasn't anything to do with necessarily her, but it was more of there was no one in my life on both sides that were entrepreneurs that understood the sacrifice, that understood why I was doing what I was doing. And I was really doing it because of the fact that I wanted to, provide a better life for my family. And I wanted to give my kids a better life than what I had. And I think that's where we all come from, being entrepreneurs. But it's so hard when you don't have those people, especially if you're sleeping with them every night. They're laying next to you every night. And you're waking up with them every morning, and they're not on board with you. So it wasn't really necessarily until I got involved in network marketing, where it was more prevalent that I needed to have those conversations, because network marketing was so different than just being, starting a traditional business. People didn't understand it. People said, oh, it's a pyramid. Oh, you're doing one of those things. People just weren't educated. They were ignorant. And maybe you have felt this way. And do me a favor, if you've ever felt this way, where maybe your family or your spouse or somebody that you need to be on board with you isn't on board, drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me, drop a one in the comment section. So, starting my network marketing business, I had a conversation with an individual. He was actually the vice president of the company, and I had an opportunity to pick him up from the airport and take him to his hotel. And that's what I was struggling with in the beginning, because the person I was with at the time didn't understand why I was going to all these meetings. I was getting all these conference calls, and I said, listen, we're going to be rich. We're going to make a lot of money. But the money wasn't coming in. I don't know if you ever felt that way. So the advice that this gentleman gave me, I'll never forget, and it helped me. Even though it didn't work, it helped me. And the reason why it didn't work, the reason why it didn't work, it wasn't because of me. It was because of the other person just didn't get it, right? And you got to be okay with that. There's just some people, they're just not going to get it. So, and I've never been a 9-to-5 kind of person, so I always set the stage. Hey, listen, I'm not 9 to 5. I'm not going to go out there and get a job and be a 9-to-5 person. That's just me. I'm not saying to quit your job or stop doing what you're doing, but that was just me. So the advice that he gave me is this. He said, Mike, you need to sit down. There's two pieces of advice he gave me, but this one is relevant to this message. He said, Mike, you need to sit down and you need to have the conversations with your family. And have a serious sit-down, conversation. Don't just say it in passing, and say, "Listen, this is what I'm doing, and this is right. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take time. There's going to be, and be upfront and be honest. There's going to be some birthdays I'm going to miss. There's going to be some sporting events that I'm going to miss. There's going to be some activities that I'm going to miss, but it's all going to be worth it. And it's your job as the leader of your business, the owner of your business, the leader of your family, to paint that vision Listen, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be worth it. And paint that vision, what it's going to be like. And I used to always say, we're going to get the kids out, or my son at the time, we're going to get them out of the city. We're going to grow up in the suburbs. That was just my big dream. He's going to have a great education. That was just what was driving me. We're going to have a big house. And I painted that vision, even though that vision didn't sync with that person. You need to have those conversations and paint those visions and just be upfront. Listen, I'm going to miss some things. But in the end, one day you might never work again. In the end, right, we're going to have this, or we're going to take those dream vacations that you always wanted to take. We're going to be able to, get our kids out of the city and give them a better education. We're going to teach them entrepreneurship. We're going to be, right? So you need to get your family on board, right? And just because you have this conversation doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be on board, but you need to paint that vision. And you, as a leader, this is so important. Your mind has to be right. And you can't let how they interpret, right, your vision, you can't let that deter you, right? So not only did I have to have that conversation, but the conversation didn't sink in for my situation. So it was even more difficult. So when I was going out to meetings 3, 4, 5 times a week, right, that other person wasn't understanding it. Why are you getting on conference calls? Why are you're traveling? You're spending all this money, right? And you have to pay for it. A lot of people don't understand that, right? You're in network marketing or you're an entrepreneur and you have all these expenses. Why isn't the company paying for it, right? People don't understand those things. But let me share something with you, especially if you're in network marketing, because I heard this, and this is so true, is that in the beginning you're going to work your butt off, and it could be months. It's definitely going to be more than weeks, but it could be months. It could be even years that you're going to work 50, 60, 80 hours a week part-time on top of your job and make no money. I mean, maybe you'll make a little bit of money to pay the bills, cover your expenses, and really make not a lot of money. But then there's going to come a time that if you can stick with it and you hit the big momentum, right, that I've talked about before, the big mo, you hit that, there's going to come times where you're doing no work and the money keeps coming in. See, that is the power of network marketing and why, I love it. I'm a huge advocate for the industry, but also just being an entrepreneur. And it's going to happen in a traditional business as well, where you're going to put in, listen, traditional business, again, my first business, I lost $30,000 in 3 months, all right? There was no recovering from that, okay? And I worked my butt off and I'll still never make that money up. But when I got involved in network marketing, especially my last company, okay, that some of you guys know the story, they got rid of the direct sales, side of it. But the owner kept his word and was still paying it. And he said, listen, if I ever did sell, I'm still going to pay residuals. And we worked our butt off. We believed in his vision. And we worked our butt off for almost 5 years, right? That company exploded. He decided to sell, which is, right, his decision as an owner. But he kept his word. He's still paying residuals. And that's been, almost 3 years. And residuals are still coming in. So all the work that we did, it's still coming in. But right, and I'm not saying that's going to happen for you, okay, but that's true residual income. But at the same time, right, that's what can happen being an entrepreneur and maybe even in a traditional business. Maybe you build that business up and you're working your butt off for 2 or 3 years, right, and you're just paying the debt off. And then all of a sudden you hire people and you're able to start taking vacations, right, because you have other people and you're leveraged on other people's efforts. But you got to put the time in. You have to put the time in. I don't know if your time is months or years, okay? And some people never make it. And that's the part of entrepreneurship. And maybe there's a time to move on. But that's what being an entrepreneur is all about. But you need to have those conversations to have your family on board. And I'll leave you with this, because it's the holiday season. And you're coming, you're going to be seeing, family that you haven't seen the entire year. And what do most family do? They ask you, well, how are things going? What's new for you? I would encourage you to not talk about, especially if it's network marketing, not talk about your network marketing business. I didn't like talking about my traditional business just for the fact that, listen, it's holiday season. I don't want to talk about business. But if it's somebody you're trying to get as a customer, you're trying to recruit, you have that, side conversation with them. But what are family going to ask you? Well, how's that going? And I remember, again, my first company I was in for 10 years, and every single Thanksgiving and Christmas, it was, well, how's that going? How's that going? Oh, you're traveling again? They're not paying for it? Like, I went through all that negative nonsense, okay? And some of you guys know the story, and so I bought my first Mercedes and pulled up in my brother-in-law's driveway, and he never said a word about it, which was pretty ironic. So it was funny, but, there's some fun things that you can do with the business, but you got to have those conversations with your family. That is my point. That is my message. Let them know it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And you need to have them on board with you. Okay, so I hope this helped. Do me a favor. If this video did help, share it with somebody. As always, I appreciate your support. And listen, if we haven't connected yet on YouTube, go check out my YouTube channel. I'll drop that in the comment section here. But also, I'm getting ready to launch a 90-day course starting in January. I'm putting it together now. It's something I've never done before. I've never opened up. It's going to be a 90-day coaching program. Again, I've never done it before as far as opening coaching up to the public, but it's going to be for a limited amount of people. It's really going to be for people that are serious about taking 2018, the first quarter of 2018, skyrocketing their business, okay, taking your business to the next level, whether it's a traditional business or maybe you're just in sales, just elevating your game, okay, but it's going to be mostly around the network marketing industry, because I have a lot of people that follow me in the network marketing business. But again, this stuff is so good that I'm putting it together. I'm getting excited about putting it together, but it's so good that whether you're in network marketing or not, or in sales or direct sales or just becoming an entrepreneur, it's going to take your business. It's designed to take your business to the next level. So you can just go to workwithmikelawson.com, and on the top right, you'll see the coaching section. Click on there. Just put your name and information in there, and you'll be put on a waiting list, and I'll get back to you once I have that. I should have something completed that you can officially sign up for this week. So again, as always, I appreciate your time. Make sure you share this video with somebody that you care about that will get value out of this video. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care, everybody.